Don't we need more? We can hardly get by as it is. How do you be content when there's so many bills to pay? The Bible promises God will be with us through the thick and through the thin. In today's lesson on peace and contentment. Last time we met, we were doing peace. This is part 2, which is contentment. And we're going to start in Philippians 4:11-12. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I've learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do everything through him who gives me strength. Paul is talking about how to be content and that he's learned to be content, even though, he might be poor, be content when he's rich, which I think is interesting because we don't think of contentment so much if we are well off. We're like, oh, well, we have lots of things. Of course we would be content. But actually, quite often, when we have a lot of things, that's when we're actually the least content for some reason. It's kind of like we want more, we expect more. And Paul is saying, in both situations, whether you're poor or whether you're well off and have lots of things, or whether somewhere in between, you can learn to be content. And I love that he points out one of the things is that through Christ, he can do all things. So interestingly, we have this moment in time where we look to God for strength when we're weak. And we think of that in terms of, maybe needing something or facing challenges. One of the biggest challenges we face is being content. It may not seem that way, but it really is a challenge to be content, especially in a world of abundance. We have so many things that are around us that we can choose from and that we like and we can enjoy. But it's more difficult to be content when we have so many things. And so we need that strength of God because it is so difficult. Let's go to 1 Timothy 6:6-10. But godliness with contentment is great gain, for we've brought nothing into the world, and we can take nothing out of it. But if we have food and clothing, we will be content with that. People who want to get rich fall into temptation and a trap, and into many foolish and harmful desires that plunge men into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Some people, eager for money, have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs. So this is kind of a follow-up on what we were just saying, that this desire for money can become such a... Sorry, I'm going through the snow. It's like bonk, bonk, bonk. So I'm not sure. I'm going to try and go get to the trail here. This is, I'm sure, kind of wonky. Okay, here we go. So where were we? Oh, yes. We have not brought anything into this world. We're not entitled to anything. Nothing is ours. We haven't created anything that we brought in. Now, I get it. Some of us work very hard to have some of the things that we do have. And that's great. Wonderful. We should be working hard. So, that he is lazy is not fed, right? So it's an important part. But it's a reminder that God is the creator. And we don't bring anything into our existence. The other thing that's interesting here, it doesn't just say people who are rich fall into temptation. It says people who want to be rich. That, you see, this leads to the covetousness, right? We were to go to Exodus. I don't think I have Exodus down in this particular study. But the 10th commandment, Exodus 20, and I'll have to put it on the screen because I cannot remember it word for word, nor can I remember the verse. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house or thy wife, or thy wife. You can covet your own wife. Don't covet your neighbor's wife, right? Covetousness is this, it's the antithesis of contentment. And here we're seeing that people who want to get rich fall into temptation, right? For the love of money is the root of all evil. And I'm sure you've heard this before, that it's not money that is evil, it's the love of money that is the root of all evil. And it's that eagerness for money and for wanting and gain that we come into trouble. And here we're given the warning that some people eager for money have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with griefs. If we wander from God, we wander from the faith, we will lose a lot. And it's no wonder that they were pierced with grief. There's a lot of sorrows wrapped up in the things of the world. There's a lot of fun, don't get me wrong. This is a misnomer. Some people think, oh, well, the things of the world aren't that fun. God is everything. The problem is there is a lot of fun in the world. And we can be kind of blind to it for a while until we're not. And then it's just a lot of sadness. Okay. Hebrews 13, 5-6. Keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have, because God has said, never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. So we say with confidence, the Lord is my helper, I will not be afraid. What can man do to me? One of the reasons I'm bringing up all this contentment and love of money is because often our peace is disrupted by our pursuit of things of this world. Now, sometimes we don't even notice it. Sometimes it just feels like it's absolutely a necessity. We're just trying to feed our family. We're trying to pay the bills. And so we're pursuing money for what seems like just normal everyday life. And yet, quite often, we can live on a lot less than we think we can. And we're pushing for more because we see the abundance of what other people have and think, well, that's the norm. I'm just trying to be normal. But God is saying, focus on Him first. He's saying, I'll never leave you. I'll never forsake you. You don't need to hedge your bets. You don't need to build a tower and have all these stores supplied, because I am going to take care of you. It's important for us to realize that while we need to take care of the things that are in front of us, it's also important for us to not try to protect ourselves from every possibility, possible terrible outcome. Psalm 3, 3-6. But you are a shield around me, O Lord. You bestow glory on me and lift up my head. To the Lord I cry aloud, and He answers me from His holy hill. I lay down and sleep, I wake again, because the Lord sustains me. I will not fear the tens of thousands drawn up against me on every side. All right, let's see if I can find the trail. Again, here's this combination of God being our shield. And this is what can give us peace, because God has us in His hand. He's there to protect us and guide us and give us wisdom. And when we're afraid and we're not sure, is this something I should be worried about? We have to pay our bills. Then we can turn to Him for wisdom, because He says, I'm here to protect you. I'm here to hold you by my hand. And He's going to sustain us. He's there to protect us from every side, from every angle that the enemy can come at us. God is there to protect us. Isaiah 54:10. Though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken, nor my covenant of peace be removed, saith the Lord, who has compassion on you. Oh, so pretty on the lake. I'm getting distracted. Oh, so beautiful. It is so peaceful out here, which is why I thought it was appropriate to do peace and contentment out here in the snow. Just fantastic. So beautiful. So even though the mountains be removed, so even through natural disasters and catastrophes, God is there. He has you in the palm of his hand. He wants to take care of you. You can rest in peace and contentment that he has you. Our last talk, we were out 4x4ing, and I told you that I just really enjoyed that. It gave me a lot of peace and relaxation. And this trip that I'm on, I'm heading to Hope. Actually, I'm heading to Abbotsford for a meeting. And this trip, while pleasant, is not as peaceful. We're on the highway, and at highway speeds, the ice feels a little more worrisome. And so I've not had a lot of anxiety, but I've had some. There were some times where the vehicle did a little wiggly do, and got me a little bit nervous, for sure. And yet, I still find going out in the snow in this weather extremely peaceful. It's so quiet and calm. It's just a reminder that God can cover all our sins for me. There's just something about snow that takes away the chaos of what's going on in my own mind. And so I find it very peaceful. But you might find other things peaceful. I encourage you to take some time to think about, what are the things that bring you peace? How do you find your calm? Because it's different for each person. There will be categories of us, and I'd love to put it in the comments, because I'm sure you'll find like-minded people who each of you find different things bring you peace. Our last verse, Numbers 6:24-26. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace.